Human leaders were summoned to negotiate terms of surrender, but the terms were draconian: complete demilitarization, a crippling tribute, and the relocation of millions of humans to labor camps. The Draken Armada hovered menacingly above New Terra, its warships casting long shadows over the nascent human colonies. The Dragon Admiral recited the requests while the New Terra Prime Minister, a tired but resolute man, sat patiently. The anxiety in the room was palpable, as if humanity's future were hanging by a thread. After a lengthy pause, the Prime Minister stood up and delivered 3 simple words with unwavering conviction. The cruel and Draken Admiral halted. He raised his hand to silence his officers and leaned forward, narrowing his gaze as he murmured, "Let us rethink these terms." He was the Prime Minister of New Terra. There was silence in the room while the Draken officers exchanged puzzled looks. The new phrases weren't as harsh. The other species were taken aback because they had been convinced that this was the end of humanity. However, humanity would maintain its autonomy and the resources needed to restore the human colonies at the Galactic Assembly. The gathering insisted on knowing what had happened. A confidential briefing was created to shed light on the strange turn of events. The Assembly had recorded multiple instances of this phenomenon. The 3 words they explained held a legendary significance in the annals of history. Whenever a human spoke these words with absolute conviction, they unleashed an unstoppable force of will and endurance, often changing the course of events in their favor. The fall of Zarin Prime. During a rebellion, a captured human soldier was sentenced to fight in the brutal Zarkoni death arena, a coliseum where condemned prisoners faced certain death. The human, horribly wounded and barely able to stand, invoked the 3 words before entering the arena. Zarin Prime was a heavily fortified planet under Draconi control, known for its impregnable defenses. What came next was an incredible show of willpower and tenacity in spite of multiple injuries. With one final breath, the human soldier battled his way past waves of elite Zarkoni warriors to reach the arena's control console. There, he activated the self-destruct process, destroying the planet's defenses. The human fleet at Helio 7 was outmatched and besieged by the Zor hegemony, which was notorious for its cruel victories. The Zor commanders aired their demands, guaranteeing a slow and agonizing death for all humans, paving the way for the rebellion's success. Disabled warships were revived, crashing into zombie ships and detonating their reactors in an unprecedented maneuver by the human fleet, beaten and on the verge of destruction, as they communicated the 3 words across their channels. The human counterattack's sudden intensity and desperation destroyed the Zor fleet, forcing them to retreat and save countless lives on Helio 7. The last stand at Outpost 42, the Galactic Assembly concluded their briefing with a stern warning exercise: extreme caution when confronting humans. The 3 words, when spoken with conviction, can alter the course of conflict. It is advised to avoid pushing the invaders back. Outpost 42 was a remote human colony besieged by a ruthless band of interstellar pirates. With the colony's defenses breached, a lone human defender emerged from the rubble carrying a makeshift weapon. He uttered the 3 words and charged at the marauders, despite overwhelming odds and suffering fatal injuries. His final stand became a symbol of human resilience. The legend of the 3 words persisted, a whispered warning in the shadowy corners of the galaxy that when a human speaks these words, prepare for the unimaginable. The Assembly hoped that by keeping this knowledge secret, they could prevent humanity from fully harnessing this mysterious power. The 3 words remained classified, known only to the highest levels of command. The Valtor Prime siege, an essential outpost for the human star empire, Valtor Prime, had collapsed. The planet was under siege by the merciless and technologically advanced X-Coalition, whose soldiers encircled it, severed all supply routes, and constantly attacked its defenses. Despite being outnumbered and outgunned, the human defenders refused to submit to the Coalition's supreme commander, a cold-blooded and cunning strategist who delivered a final demand for the human governor of Valtor Prime to surrender. General Elena Reyes, an experienced soldier, read the telegram with a somber expression on her face. She gathered her remaining officers and told them there was still hope. Despite their fatigue and battering, her officers nodded solemnly in agreement as she continued, her voice firm, "We must invoke the 3 words." General Reyes entered the communication channel and sent a message to the Supreme Commander of the Coalition Fleet, the X-Coalition. She started off with a stern and resolute tone, saying, "I have 3 words for you." As General Reyes took a deep breath and delivered the 3 words with complete conviction, the Supreme Commander, observing from his flagship, leaned forward in curiosity. The effect was immediate. Inspired by her words, the human defenders regrouped with renewed vigor and prepared to defend their home to the last breath. The Supreme Commander hesitated, sensing a change in the momentum of the battle. He had heard tales of the 3 words, but had never trusted them. Now, seeing the abrupt transformation of the human defenders, he started to doubt, held his fire, and told his officers to see what they could do. Despite the coalition's superior technology, the human forces, driven by their unwavering spirit, launched a counteroffensive. Ground troops rushed from their fortifications and engaged the coalition's forces in vicious hand-to-hand combat. Pilots took to the skies, maneuvering their ships with unparalleled precision and aggression. The human forces fought with an unrelenting fervor, with each soldier appearing to be driven by an unbreakable will to win. Arcturus IV, a lush and resourceful planet, had become the target of the dominion of the Quyth. The colony's war machine descended upon the colony with the intent of clearly achieving total domination. The human settlers, led by Captain Marcus Hale, prepared for a desperate last stand as the Dominion forces breached the colony's outer defenses. Meanwhile, across the galaxy, another human colony faced annihilation. Captain Hale spoke to his subjects. He remarked, his voice resonating over the colony communication system, "We have faced impossible odds before, and we will face them again." The settlers' hearts were profoundly touched by his words. Remember the 3 words and what they mean for our families and our future. We will not surrender. As the occupying soldiers advanced, the settlers, armed with homemade weapons and an unwavering resolve, launched a counterattack after Captain Hale spoke those 3 words with unwavering conviction. Commanders in the CW watched in shock as the outnumbered and poorly equipped settlers fought back with unmatched ferocity. The human resistance was fierce and unrelenting, pushing the CW forces to their limits and returning to Valtor Prime. The Supreme Commander revised his stance after seeing the human defenders' unwavering resolve, and General Reyes' gambit had paid off. He opened a channel with General Reyes and stated, "Maybe we can negotiate more reasonable terms." Even though General Reyes was cautious, she responded, "Let's find a solution that spares further bloodshed." The negotiations were swift and surprisingly amicable. The X-Coalition withdrew their forces, and Valtor Prime was spared. News of the successful defense spread quickly through the galaxy, further cementing the legend of the 3 words. A secret revealed, the Galactic Assembly observing these events grew increasingly concerned. They realized that the 3 words were not merely a legend, but a powerful psychological tool that could inspire unparalleled courage and determination in humans. A covert task force was assembled to investigate the origins and true nature of the 3 words. Their mission was to understand how these words could evoke such profound reactions, and if possible, find a way to neutralize their effect. As the task force delved into ancient human history and culture, they uncovered a startling revelation. The 3 words were deeply embedded in the human psyche, a primal trigger that unlocked the full potential of their willpower and resilience. Attempts to suppress or neutralize the effect proved futile. Realizing the futility of their efforts, the Galactic Assembly faced a difficult decision. Should they continue to confront humanity, knowing the potential consequences, or should they seek a path of coexistence and peace? The Assembly voted for peace. They extended an olive branch to the human Star Empire, proposing a mutual alliance. The terms were fair, emphasizing cooperation and shared prosperity. The legend of the 3 words remained a testament to the unwavering spirit of humanity. It served as a reminder that even in the darkest of times, a single act of unwavering conviction could change the course of history. As a result, the galaxy watched and learned that while technology and might were important, the true power lay in the hearts and minds of those who dared to believe in themselves and each other. Humanity had proven its strength and resilience, so they accepted the offer together and forged a new era of collaboration.